Hey guys, so I'm just running around with my daughter. We're running errands today and she ended up falling asleep in her car seat. So I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to just take a moment to share with you guys my testimony about how I became a Christian. And maybe you guys have a similar story that you'd like to share with me, and I would absolutely love to hear it. But here's a little bit of my backstory. So pretty much my whole life I grew up calling myself an atheist. I did not believe in God. I did not believe that there was a God. I believed in, science, the theory of evolution, all that stuff that they teach you in science class. I vaguely remember for a short time, maybe when I was in 5th grade, very little, my parents tried to take us to church for a while and it just didn't stick with my family, so we stopped going. And I would say probably sometime in middle school is when I decided that I wanted to just go with the theory of evolution, because I had these adults, my teachers, teaching me as a child that this is scientific fact. They had the textbooks and everything to back it up, so I thought it was legit, so I went with it, It wasn't until I was 24 years old that I met my now husband. We met online, and he's embarrassed to tell people that, but whatever. We met online, and he had been saved 2 or 3 years prior to us meeting. So he was a Christian at the time, and I knew that, even though I was an atheist when we met. But I didn't really think it was a big deal. I'm like, okay, he's a Christian, that's fine, as long as we don't talk about it, like it's not gonna bother me, we can still date. And he did end up talking to me about it a lot, quite a bit, because he was just so on fire for the Lord at the time that he just wanted to share everything with me that he had learned over the years. Because after he became saved, he was just, like I said, so on fire for God. He was diving into his word, studying constantly. And so when he met me, it was a bit of a challenge, talking to an atheist, but I think God prepared him for that, because he knew a lot, and he knew how to talk to me about it in a way that was, of course, at times I did get offended, because, sometimes the truth offends people, and people don't want to hear, the gospel when they're non-believers. They just don't want to. And that was the story for me. I was an atheist, and I thought that science was the right way, and anything else was just silly. It was just, like fairy tale, really, is what I thought. And it took a few weeks, a few months, for him to, just pretty much daily talk to me about the Bible. And I liked him so much at the time that I just let him do it. It was kind of annoying to me, but I let him do it. And I think that God helped me do that, because otherwise I wouldn't have wanted to listen on my own. I would have just said, no, I can't do this. But God was definitely working through him to get to me. So over a short period of time, a couple months, a month or so, he was consistent in talking to me about the Bible, and he was actually praying for me as well every day. Every day he was praying for me. And the Lord was softening my heart, during this time. And one day I was driving home from work. And there was traffic, so it was taking me a while. And there was just all these things going through my mind, and I didn't know why I was thinking about them. I was thinking about, wait a minute, is there really a God? And then I'm like, you know what, if there is, like, all these things that I've done in my life, all these things that I've done in my past were wrong, and they're horrible, all these things that I had done that I didn't really think they were bad, I didn't think anything of it as I was doing them. Suddenly I felt so convicted deep down and it was kind of out of nowhere. I didn't know what was going on. And then, you know, just thinking about these things on my drive home, I just stopped and I just broke down. I broke down in my car. I was crying, and I was calling out to God. I said, you know, God, if you're there, I want to know the truth. I want you to soften my heart, because I want to know the truth. I want to know if you're really there. I want to know you. And I just started asking for forgiveness of, you know, all my past sins, which I had never recognized as sin, because I didn't believe in sin. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in angels and all this. I thought it was just fairy tale. Until that day. It was driving home from work one day in April 2015, and that was the day that the Lord granted me salvation. I didn't know what was happening at the time, but that's, you know, he gave that to me as a gift. So after that, I kind of calmed down a little bit, and I had called my husband, who was then my boyfriend at the time. I had called him and I told him what happened, and he was just really, he was happy for me. And I was like, you know, that's weird. Why are you kind of like excited about this? You know, I just like broke down in my car. I'm like crying right now. And you know, I didn't understand it at the time, but he was happy for me because I became saved that day. God had pulled me out of the world, and he had pulled me out of the darkness, and he let me see the light. He let me see reality for what it actually is. And so that was about 2 years ago that happened. And over that period of time, I mean, so much has happened. After about 5 months of dating, a few months after, I would say maybe a month after I got saved, I was baptized. And then a couple months after that, my husband actually proposed to me, and we ended up getting married 4 months after the proposal. I know it was really fast, but we got it all done. And it was such a beautiful wedding. It was gorgeous. It was Christ-centered. It was perfect. And it was probably one of the best days of my life, aside from, you know, the day that I became saved. I think about a month, maybe a month or two after our wedding, that, you know, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter, and 10 months later she was born. Her name is Amaya, and she's now 9 months old, so that was a little bit ago, but it's just, and like I said, he's just blessed me with such an amazing family. My husband is incredible. He's, you know, he's such a great leader for our family. He's, you know, he's learned a lot too in all of this, and I believe that the Lord is sanctifying us together in our marriage. And yeah, so that's kind of my story. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It was on my heart. Maybe you have a similar story, and like I said at the beginning, if you guys have your testimony that you want to share with me, I would absolutely love to hear it. So thank you for taking the time to just listen, and I hope to hear from you guys.